right, so it's 107.5 WBLS in the building. We already told you who's in the building, but I'll give you a refresher. Dude has all these movies, all these albums. Should I name them all? No, I'm going to let him name them. But we got to put our hands together for Ice Cube.
Yeah, yay.
West Coast Rider in the building.
What's happening with you?
Nothing much, man. Just in hearing that you were coming to town, we were super excited about it. Even got my boss in the building.
Yeah, he came through. You know what I mean? Checking up on us.
Right? Trying to make sure we obey the
That's
rules
love.
and everything.
That's
But we hear that you have a new album, Everything's Corrupt.
Yes.
Talk to us about the album. What was the force behind the album? You still got the party joints, that new Funkadelic.
Yeah. You know, the album is a bona fide Ice Cube record. You know what I mean? When you've been in the game, you know what I mean? As long as I've been in the game, you got to do what you do best. You know, it's not really about chasing the trends, but creating them and doing what people love you for. You know what I'm saying? So this record is everything you would want from an Ice Cube record. You know, the title, Everything's Corrupt, is self-explanatory.
Come on, son. Preach.
You look around and it seemed like, you know, cash rules everything around me. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's a great title to really, like, you know, in a nutshell, tell you what the album is about. Which we got songs on there like Arrest the President and
Speak on that for a minute.
Yeah.
I saw you tweeting, Instagram, and whatever. The Arrest the President, even the lyrics. You know, you got the evidence. Arrest the President.
Yeah, you know, it's I think, you know, this president has really violated the country in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And, you know, right now, you know, there's an investigation, this Mueller investigation. And if it comes around that and it's proof that all these crimes were committed and he knew about them, you know, I think it should happen.
You really think something will happen?
Nope.
Of course
I don't
not.
think it'll happen. I think, you know, countries like this is, you know, a little too embarrassed to arrest the president. Yeah,
But you speak about it in your music, though.
Yeah.
Not only with that, I heard that you've been working on this for a minute. You had to pause it for a second to come back to the studio?
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to give it's just due. You know, I work on so many different projects, and
How do you balance all of that?
that's how I do it. I stop. You know, I give 100% to what I'm doing. So, I was working on the album, and you know, Straight Outta Compton came along. I had to produce that movie and put it out, and so I stopped working on the record. I did a few other movies like Ride Along 2. And,
You may have heard of it.
Barbershop.
You might have heard of it.
You know, The Next Cut. So that took me out the game for a minute, you know, as far as music. And then when I got back on my horse and I got going again, we thought of this Big 3 idea, and we had to, like, for 2 years, you know, put laser focus on it to make sure, you know, it becomes what we believe it should.
So where you paused it, does it still have that same effect from where you stopped before? Or does it, the new things, the new circumstances and new successes even change what you were going through or going with the album originally?
Yeah, that's what's great because the songs that I kept are the ones that held up.
Yeah.
And I did new ones. But, you know, at each stage, you know, if a song can't last 2 or 3 years, then it wasn't good in the first place.
Come
was
on
it?
now.
You know, so but I had a whole lot of songs to choose from, so I just picked the ones that I felt like, you know, encompassed Everything's Corrupt in the album. And, you know, I still like to do concept records.
I love the way that you tell stories in your songs. We're going to talk about that in a second. But speaking of new music, though, let's get into the new Funkadelic, shall we?
Yeah.
Who produced this?
This is produced by a guy named T-Mix. He's out of Houston, Texas.
I think he worked with Ball and G.
Yeah,
Yes.
A-Ball and MJG
Yes.
and Suave House, my man Tony Draper. Shout out.
T. Draper.
T. Draper. And so, you know, I said, man, I want to do like a new version of what we love and grew up on, you know, the Knee Deeps and One Nations. And I said, I think it'd be a total Ice Cube record when we do it. And we started working on it. And, you know, we ended up coming up with that new Funkadelic. And, you know, it's OG. It's
OG.
record.
It's a party anthem, and it's on right now on WBLS. Cube, you are one of the few hip hop artists to take it to Hollywood and even beyond and expanding your brand. So I talk to our audience about this all the time, how celebs are doing it. How are you able to maintain and just like you said, come up with the new ideas, the big three? How did that come about? From the movies to the hip hop, everything.
We did Friday, and at that time, it wasn't too many people making those kind of, comedies.
Right.
There was, but it wasn't a lot.
But it
Especially
wasn't
not
really
from the
talking to
hip-hop.
us.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I think Kid and Play had did one, and so it was like, that's really what I'm into. But I won't do it just because it's available. I study. I look for the best team to put together to go after something and try to make sure if we do it, we're gonna break new ground and we're gonna be more exciting than what's there.
Right.
And so, that same approach came with the big three. It was like I was mad Kobe scored 60 points and then he's retired and you can't pay to see him play no more.
Right.
That to me is like highway robbery for a sports fan. So we felt like it's a void because if I feel like that, there's other people who feel like that about other players. And so if we can create a league and we like, whoa, it's something right there, 3-on-3 basketball, something we all play, something we all grew up playing.
Right.
People play more 3-on-3 than 5-on-5. So
I
it's
wouldn't know
like,
anything about the sports part. Break it down.
why isn't it professional? Why isn't it elevated? Let's elevate it. And that's how the big three came.
And now you have people clamoring to be into this.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to touch it. And again, this is from somebody who's not even a sports fan. I don't know, but I know big three. I've heard about it. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? Ice Cube is doing what?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And so now, where do you take that from what you have now? What's the next step for the big three?
Well, right now we're trying to buy these regional sports networks.
Oh,
with,
yeah, I read that.
LL.
Oh, my God.
And,
Again,
and some more
expanding the brand.
partners. Yeah. And, to me, it's all about creating a network that focuses on sports and culture and give them the same just due.
That is so hot. I mean, like, this dude is taking a basketball league. Now you're going to buy sports networks. This man cannot be stopped. Like, in real life, you can't be stopped, Cube. But I want to rewind a little bit. Rewind. All right, so back to Friday, because this, I was thinking about, has just become a part of the cultural zeitgeist. Like, everybody talks about this movie. Even years after the movie, we came up with the whole Bye Felicia thing. What did you think when you first heard that?
I tripped off of it because I in 1,000 years, I mean, you could have waterboarded me and never told me that I would have said that was going to be said out of the movie. That was
Right.
going to be a line that people grab onto, and it started like in 2016 or something. So it just was a trip to me that Bye Felicia, earlier than that, actually 2014, but it just was a trip to me that line.
Right, and that was a whole new generation of people who was coming up saying that.
So it's funny what people grab onto, but people love that movie because it's so honestly us, in a lot of ways on how we approach difficult situations, sometimes through laughter, through comedy, through not taking it as serious as the world might. And it's the day that the bully gets beat up. And everybody loves that day. Everybody remembers the day that the bully on their street or the bully at their school finally got it. And so that is why people really love this movie. It just encompasses us and dealing with each other in our neighborhoods.
All right, so everybody wants to know, will there be the third installment of the Friday series? I saw a picture on somebody's social media.
Yeah.
I think it was late summer, early fall or whatever, and it seemed like you guys were on a set. Is that true?
We were shooting a promo for the big three. We wasn't shooting Friday yet.
Ice Cube.
But we writing it and we getting it
You
together.
don't know. That's not good enough.
Will you sign a petition to New Line Cinema and tell them cut the check so we can get this movie off the ground?
Can y'all cut the freaking check? No, is it really the political behind the scenes stuff that's holding it up?
Yes. That's been the whole thing.
I didn't know
It's
that. I
always
thought it
been
was just the
political.
certain characters and people didn't want to align.
Now, everybody wants to be back, most people I talk to want to come back.
Hmm.
So it's really New Line. It's an expensive movie now.
Why?
Because when these guys first got on and first did it, they were at one level in their career, just starting out, or me discovering them,
Hold on,
and
say that again.
me discovering
Come
them.
on, preach.
And so now they're big stars,
Right.
and they've earned what they earned to
They're
perform.
top dollar.
So this is a way more expensive movie than it was.
It's 107.5 WBLS. Ice Cube is in the building. Been talking about that new album, Everything's Corrupt, Arrest the Presidents, the single, New Funkadelics, the single. That's the new vibe. And do you feel the need to have to, quote, prove yourself with the music now?
No,
So you just
not
go
at
in, it's
all.
all fun?
It's art. It's what I feel. It's great to be in this position in my career to just do it how I feel it and put it out, and whatever it do, I'm gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm chasing numbers.
Right.
I want to do good for Interscope and the people that's putting their time, effort behind this record and money. And so I want the record to do well. But me personally, it's all gravy, and it's like whatever it do, I'm gonna be happy because this record and every record that I do from here on out is really geared towards the Ice Cube fan, and everybody else got to kind of get in where they fit in.
Come on. I love it. Are any of the kids, we know your oldest son, O'Shea Jr.
That's my middle.
Middle.
I got an older one than that. but
Right. Okay. So
yeah,
the
Daryl.
the middle one played you in Straight Outta Compton. Are
Yeah.
any of the other children doing any kind of media, acting, rapping?
Well, my oldest son Daryl, he helped me produce Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because I was actually in Atlanta during some of that movie, so he was my eyes and ears on set till I
Nice.
got there.
Okay.
And so he's producing music now, and he's gonna help me with Lynchmont Records and the whole new generation of artists that I don't want to work with, but but he do. And so I'm gonna help him and supervise, and and,
I love
and,
it.
and just I mean, I can't day to day these dudes no more. You know what I'm saying? But I can supervise and make sure that they on the right track, and they got a shot at it. So I'm proud of him for that. And my daughter is she's always helping me out. She's in school right now, and my son is in school. So both of them are the brainiacs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So they're going to handle the back end stuff for you then?
Yeah, I told him, I said, it's like, it's a lot of numbers starting to flow through here. And y'all need to help me with some of these numbers.
I love it. Keep it in the family. Keep it all the family. Now, you guys have been in the spotlight for a long time, you and your family. Would you ever think about doing the whole reality show
No.
route? What was that?
Never.
Never?
Never put my family on TV. No. Never.
Never.
Ever.
Okay, just
I
one.
mean, I got to have something that's mine.
Exactly.
Something that's
But you
private.
see a lot of folks sharing that side of their families. So just
To each his own.
Yeah.
I don't hate on that. It's just not for me and my family.
right.
And cameras all up in my house. I ain't with that.
Of course, of course. This is why we love Ice Cube. Straight, no chaser. I ain't with no cameras in the house.
No.
Now, when you do have the cameras on you and you're on the stage performing and all that, what's your favorite song to perform? What do you like?
Oh wow, man. I like Check Yourself.
Better check yourself. I'm
Some
sorry. I
favorite
feel
records,
I have
'cause-
musical Tourette, so I will have to sing part of the song. I'm sorry.
Check Yourself, and It Was a Good Day. Those always get the crowd going.
And wait,
Always.
I need, you know how we do it.
I do. I rocks that too.
Ain't nothing going on. Okay,
but
sorry.
the bomb ass rap song
What?
hitting all night long.
Just like,
me and my homie.
okay. Do you ever forget the lyrics to your own songs?
Sometimes, yeah, but not on stage.
Right.
Because I rehearse my whole show before I go on stage.
And what about movies? How do you run back your lines for the movies? Because I tell people we have so many things on a regular basis, regular folks with passcodes and all the stuff to remember. How the heck are you remembering your songs, then movie lines and all of that?
With a movie, it's, when you first get there and look at the dialogue, you're like, damn, how am I going to retain all this?
Right.
But you shooting it all day, the same scene all day, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so the lines start to stick
Mm-hmm.
and then you can kind of put the whoop on it, you know, you can kind of put the flavor on it once you know the lines. So, you know, just by the repetition, it helps, you know, actors, you know, do the you know, get the lines
Mm-hmm.
right. And what's cool, you shoot so many different takes, and they're gonna just pick the best pieces out of each take and create this great scene. So it's you know, by the end of the day, you know them lines back and forth.
Back and forth. All right, so we have the album, Everything's Corrupt. Go cop
Yep.
that December 7th. Movie-wise, are we having any new movies coming up soon?
Working, we still in the lab. You know, Big Three, it took me out the game for a couple of years because we had to stay focused on that.
Right.
So, you know, I'm back in the lab, just making sure that, you know, when I do another movie that is great. And
All
not
your
just
movies,
good.
but seriously, and this is not butt kissing nothing. You've been in so many movies that have been a part of the culture. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's-
I'm talking from Friday to help me out. What else we got?
like
Barbershop, yes. Are we there yet? I mean, just movies that people are affectionately look at through the
Yeah.
culture. So you
Yeah,
got
I mean,
that
I'm
touch.
proud of that. I'm proud of that, and I don't want to take that for granted by doing something that I don't feel is up to par.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, in the movie industry, there's ebbs and flows, and sometimes you don't get the right material, so you got to go create the right material.
Right.
So right now, we creating the right material.
All right, well, create that. And lastly, before you go, in your years in hip hop, Hollywood, all of that, give us the biggest lesson you've learned that you would want to share with your fans. What have you learned that y'all need to know this?
I think you know people need to believe in themselves and not doubt themselves, and try to become fearless in their endeavors.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ice Cube, for stopping by.
Thank you.
Y'all put your hands
Appreciate
together for Ice Cube,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
legendary. Yay, yay.
you. Deja vu.